Hello, my name is Sally Ibbotson and I'm a Qigong teacher here in the forests in North East Scotland. And at the moment I'm taking groups of uh, Qigongers outside, so we're working outside, doing Qigong outside, and I've had a question about knees. And often when we first start doing Qigong, the knees can complain a little bit. And so I said I would do a designated presentation around the subject of knees. Now I mentioned that this was an outdoor class where this question came up because footwear is, when you're a beginner, quite important. So for example, if you're wearing some walking boots that are fine to just do straight walking, when you're doing the movements, the subtle movements of Qigong, actually they might not be flexible enough, and also they might have a slight rise on the heel. Wellington boots often have that too. So it's crucial obviously to keep your feet dry and warm, but do have a mind for are they the best for my Qigong movements. So what I suggest is that in between sessions, Qigong outdoor sessions, you do a little bit of Qigong at home so you can get a feel of what's right. Because otherwise, if you're out there in situ and someone's telling you to do a move, it's difficult to actually think about, are my knees feeling okay? Whereas if you know what okay feels like, you're more likely to translate that into a class situation. I hope that's clear. So what you would do at home is to adopt the standing like a tree position. So feet are parallel on the outside and the knees are soft, so they're not bent. So Qigong will be very good for strengthening all the tendons and ligaments around the knee on a long-term basis. But however, if you don't practice, they also can hurt the knee. Not exactly harm it, but the knees, as I say, will start to complain. So they're not bent, yeah? They're not bent. Sometimes I look like my knees are bent when I'm teaching because I want to illustrate, but actually they're just unlocked, that's all. So if you stand normally and just think, unlock, it's a very, very subtle movement, just lets the chi come through, but you're not bending because that is too much. It's too much for you. You'd have to have really strong muscles that hold ligaments and tendons in order to hold that for an hour and move around in that position. And you would build up all kinds of maybe toxins between the muscles and everything, which could cause you pain. So they're just unlocked. Soft is another word, but unlocked I think is better. So you keep a little bit of tonus. And the second thing is we use the image of the football between the knees, because if you are standing with unlocked knees for a while, then what can tend to happen is the knees can fold in towards each other because these muscles and meridians actually get tired. They get tired, so your knees start to knock together. And that can put an undue strain on the muscles and the ligaments as well. So we constantly keep that image of something between the knees, to just have the emphasis on the knees going in the same direction as the feet. So the knees are going out that way, not folding in. So for your home practice, simply standing like this with soft knees, feeling them complain a little bit, tingling, a little bit of aching, numbness, tiredness, they're all okay. Sharp pain, don't go there. Just, I don't know what's going on with your knees. So sharp pain, just, don't do anything more. Just sit down or rub them. But however, all those discomforts are to be expected as everything, chi, lymph, blood, comes through soft knees that are not used to standing. It's like any gym exercise. The first time you do it, you get maybe a little bit of aching when you wake up the next morning. It's the same thing with chi and energy. If the channels or meridians are opening, there can be discomfort. And when I was starting Qigong some 25 years ago, I had loads of itching around my lower leg, almost unbearable, but you have to go through it in a way. So what I'd say is that in your home practice, you're standing like a tree, you're standing with soft knees, that's all you're doing, and you're just noting what's happening. And if you have to stop and shake out, you have to rub your knees and come back in, that's fine. But build up daily so that you can stand with, as I say, those unlocked knees for maybe 1 minute, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. Then do the class. Coming to a class and doing an hour is not particularly good, especially outdoors, because the cold can get into them, etc. Now the other thing that can put a strain on the knees is that you're too far forward or too far back on the your weight on your feet. So too far towards the toes, too far towards the heel can put a strain. And that's another thing about, as I said earlier, the shoes that you're wearing. So, rubber boots, Wellingtons, they do have a little bit of a heel, so you're automatically pushed onto your toes. So be mindful of that. And when you're at home, practice being down the centre of you, so that when you come to your outdoor class, you know what feels okay, what little tingles and numbness, okay, that's just a normal thing, and what's not okay. Okay. So here's your home practice, football between the knees. Am I equally on both feet? That's another thing. Am I too much to the toes, too much to the heels? Am I down through the centre of my feet? And then are my knees just unlocked, just softened ever such a little bit? Next thing is take the tailbone down to the centre of the earth. So feel a weight on the tip of the tailbone going straight down, and you'll feel that tilts the pelvis ever so slightly, but you don't need to do anything to the knees. So practice doing that, because the temptation is actually to do this. And sometimes when I'm illustrating, I do that. But actually it's a tipping of the pelvis that's ever so subtle, so it doesn't adjust that softening of the knees. Yeah, so come in and out of that and see how you can do that subtly without affecting the knees. Finally, send the top of the head towards the sky, and there you are standing like a tree. And that's all. If you want a little bit of advanced practice, you can step forward and see what it's like to do this with soft knees. So you can do it with tight knees, feel that, and then soften and feel what it's like to do it with soft knees. The other foot maybe. Do it with tight knees first, then do it with soft knees. Practice sending the knee in the same direction as the foot. And maybe that's not right for you. So practice, well, actually I'm more comfortable like this. So find out what's comfortable. So practice at home, what's comfortable. Don't just come to an outdoor class and do what the teacher tells you. Find your own comfort here. And also you can, shifting from foot to foot, what's that feel like? Where can I feel that? So you get to know your own body before you take it to a lesson where someone else tries to take control of it. What's really good for the knees, a good exercise for the knees, is to imagine that you're a table football player and you're just shifting your weight like this with soft knees, so you're moving along one horizontal plane. And you should be able to feel how that's potentially very strengthening to all the tendons that are holding the knee in place there, and ligaments. Really good exercise to do. And you don't have to even go so far. So just go with what you feel. So 5 or 10 minutes home practice. Thank you very much.